Good afternoon. The topic that I'll be reporting for today is effective interviewing skills. Business survival depends on hiring the right people, yet finding the best employees can be difficult. If you don't have effective interviewing skills, you risk losing a brilliant candidate or worse, hiring a person that's not qualified for the job. In a competitive graduate job market, conducting effective interviews is more important than ever. While you're sizing up a candidate, that person is also considering you as a potential employer. The key to successful recruitment is having clear objectives and a consistent technique for assessing candidates. Shortlist the applicants. First, only to select good candidates using selection methods for interview, a figure between 5 and 10 should be your target. Review their CVs or curriculum vitae and sift out anyone that does not meet your essential requirements. If you have more than 10 candidates that look suitable on paper, then consider conducting a telephone interview to screen out the least suitable candidates. Interview objectives. Once face to face with candidates, you need to promote the business to attract the best candidate for the job by marketing. It is like the applicants, they are selling themselves to the company that they are applying to get the job they wanted. Businesses need to get an applicant that will suit their requirements. Next is assess how far their qualifications match the job. Find out more about the candidate's education, work experience, career goals, skills, and qualities. Discover whether they would fit into the organization. Interviewer needs to evaluate the candidate's skills, abilities, and or experiences to do the task. Usually, they will ask for related trainings. Gauge candidates' interest in the position and the company. Sometimes interviewer will ask applicants why you choose this company, why this position, where did you find out that we are hiring. The interview. Effective interviewing is always well structured. 6 stages to consider include: number 1, introduction. Make the candidate feel comfortable. Initiate some small talk to put them at ease. Like, for example, tell them a bit about the company and its aims, and outline the particular position and offer. Keep it short. You can expand later if you feel the candidate is suitable. Explain the structure of the interview. Invite the candidate to ask questions and check for understanding at any time. From this point on, the amount and quality of the information that you establish will be largely due to the effectiveness of your questions. You may use open questions. For example, tell me about, how do you, why did you, talk me through, and probe from the general to the specific. Avoid any questions which could be considered discriminatory. Number 2, initially assess the candidate. Using their CVs or curriculum vitae as a prompt, find out more about the candidate's background. Some interviewers do not check the candidate's CVs. They wanted to know more about the applicants. Impromptu. Ask leading questions, listen carefully without interrupting, and let them sell themselves. Keep notes of all the replies so you have something to refer to later. Number 3, discuss competencies, skills, and capabilities. Get them to expand on their skills and demonstrate how they relate to your job requirements. Let the candidates tell you about their abilities or mastery. They will not apply for the position they are applying if they do not have knowledge to it. Let them tell you what they are capable of. Keep your tone mild and non-judgmental, particularly when asking difficult questions. There were times that even the applicants are qualified for the job, they sometimes did not get the job. They usually get scared of the interviewer. The tones on their voice or voices, it is like they are about to eat you alive. 4, sell the job. If impressed so far, explain the job in more detail, how it fits in, the growth potential, the pay package, and other benefits. You need to make the opportunity appear as attractive as possible, motivating the best candidates to want to work for you. Discuss and sell the branding of your company through its reputation and corporate culture. 5, candidate questions. Don't forget to ask the candidate if they have any questions. This is a good way to find out how much research they've done and if they're really serious about the position. Maybe you missed something about the company or your business. You might want to ask them politely so they would feel comfortable on knowing more. Number 6. Closing the session. Summarize what's been said and clarify any vague areas. Ask if they still want to be considered and find out about any obstacles to starting if you both decide to go ahead. Explain how the next contact will be made and give an approximate time frame. Tell them that you need to review their CVs or curriculum vitae and some documents that they sent or gave you. Interviewer tells them to wait for a call for 3 to 5 days if he or she thinks that the candidate fits for the position. Effective interviewing skills, top tips. Number 1. Understand the purpose of the interview. 2. Rethink your interviewing strategy and tactics. 3. Develop a list of desired skills. 4. Create a list of interview questions. 5. Review your list of interview questions. 6. Tell the applicant about the interview format. 7. Prepare for questions from the candidate. 8. Take objective notes and record responses. 9. Respond swiftly to good candidates and give prompt feedback. 10. Before you offer any position, obtain and follow up references. Remember, effective interviewing is a two-way process. It is as important to sell yourselves to the applicant. A good candidate will have their other opportunities, so do not presume they will jump at your offer. Always remember to only hire a candidate who fits their role defined. While you will need to get on with them, don't hire someone just because you like them or they are similar to you. They should complement, not imitate you and your team.
Many people think that the ability to interview is an inherent talent, but that's simply not the case. Just being personable or liking to talk is no guarantee that someone will be an effective interviewer. In fact, there are many factors related to interviewers that can influence how well interviewees perform, including the ability to prompt good social interaction, personality, and the design and structure of the interview itself. Even the questions that are asked of individuals can arguably affect the quality of interview sessions. Interviewing skills are developed through training and practice. Suggestions for making interviewing more effective are as follows. Plan the interview. Interviewers should review all information before the interview and then identify specific areas for questioning. Control the interview. This includes knowing the audience and what information must be collected, systematically collecting it during the interview, and stopping when the information has been collected. Use effective questioning techniques. Use questions that will produce full and complete answers and can be evaluated on the basis of job relatedness. And finally, get a balanced view. To enable informed hiring decisions, interviewers should consider both the positive and negative attributes of job candidates. The following types of questions should be avoided in selection interviews. They include yes-no questions. Unless verifying specific information, the interview should always avoid questions that can be answered with a yes or no. Avoid obvious questions. An obvious question is one for which the interviewer already has the answer or the applicant knows it. And finally, questions that rarely produce a true answer. Avoid questions that prompt a less than honest response. For example, how did you get along with your coworkers? Other questions to avoid include leading questions, which is one in which the answer is obvious. Illegal or inappropriate questions involve information about protected characteristics. And finally, questions that are not job-related. All questions should be directly related to the job. Effective interviewers avoid listening responses such as nodding, pausing, making casual remarks, echoing, and mirroring. The applicant might try to please the interviewers by observing the feedback provided. However, giving no response to an applicant's answers may imply boredom and inattention. Therefore, interviewers should use friendly but neutral comments and gestures during the interview. Managers and supervisors are more likely than HR professionals to use poor interviewing techniques because they lack training or do not interview often. Let's take a look at the problems that are common to interviews. Some interviewers decide whether an applicant is suitable within the first 2 to 4 minutes of the interview and spend the rest of the time looking for evidence to support their judgment. When evaluating suitability, unfavorable information about the applicant is often emphasized more than favorable information. The halo effect occurs when an interviewer allows a positive characteristic, such as agreeableness, to overshadow other evidence. The phrase's devil's horn describes the reverse of the halo effect, which occurs when a negative characteristic, such as inappropriate dress, overshadows all other traits. Similarity bias occurs when interviewers favor or select people whom they believe to be like themselves on the basis of a variety of personal factors. Interviewers should also avoid any personal techniques to stereotype individuals because of demographic characteristics and difference. Managers and others involved in the selection process frequently fall victim to their own unconscious bias. Without realizing it, many interviewers discount candidates whose religions or cultures differ from their own. Helping people recognize and manage their biases is important for fair assessment of all candidates in the selection process.